citizens to report suspicious property they believe to be for the government. The superintendent of Grand Jita County, Ellis Grant, has lauded President Joseph Boakai for the reburial of former President Samuel Kayando and his wife Nessie Doe. Speaking on ERBC Monday, the Grand Jita County superintendent termed the president's move to dignify the former president as a sign of gratitude, noting that the Grand Jitians are excited about the reburial of former President Samuel Doe. According to Superintendent Grant, the president has made a great impact on citizens of the county and Liberians at large, thus describing him a true reconciliator, indicating that the memory will continue to live with the people of the county. The Grand Jita County Superintendent has meanwhile disclosed that the reburial of former President Doe by President Joseph Boakai is an act of creating reconciliation among grandchildren and children of the former president. He added that citizens of the county are excited, noting that all disagreements and dissatisfaction among the people have now been resolved. The National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority has officially launched a hands-on agriculture training program targeting fish farmers in 4 counties, beginning with Magibi. The initiative is part of a broader effort to boost local agriculture practices and improve livelihoods in rural communities. The project, which is sponsored by the World Bank, will be rolled out in 4 counties: Magibi, Lofa, and Nimba. Bonk. Speaking at the opening, according to Kwade, the support from the World Bank underscores the importance of sustainable agriculture in enhancing food security and economic development. He also expressed gratitude to the participants for their commitment and active participation, describing that turnout as a positive sign for a sector growth. The Liberia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church has ended a 3-day regional leadership seminar in Tabata, Lower Nima County. The 3-day event held under the theme Leaders for Church Renewal at the First United Methodist Church is aimed to strengthen internal unity, promote spiritual maturity, and prepare church leaders to confront critical social challenges such as misinformation and youth vulnerability. The event participants included clergy, district superintendent, lay leaders, youth and women's organization leaders. Organizers described the seminar as part of the LSC UMC ongoing initiative to build leadership capacity at the grassroots level, unify the church, grow across districts, and position at the church as a moral and transformational force in Liberia's development. Reverend Caleb Dorman, director of the Advex Youth Ministry at LAC/UMU, and team leader urged the participants to remain steadfast in truth, especially in an era dominated by false narrative and social tension. Bond County Senator Prince Moore is calling for legislative intervention amid growing public anxiety over the carrier safety and reliability of Eska Island. During media engagement days before his scheduled trip to the United Bond County Association in the Americas Convention, Senator Moito reported Sunday in Banga that the airline inability to take travelers with their belongings is a serious concern and something that he needs to elevate at the legislative level. The lawmaker public comments have amplified mounting complaints from Liberians both at home and abroad about their operational delays, mechanical issues, and overall service. The House of Representatives has endorsed the consolidated audit report of the Joint Public Accounts Expenditure and Audit Committee of the 55th Legislature, setting the stage for public hearings into the financial management practices of several government institutions. The report titled Consolidated Report of the Joint Public Accounts Expenditure and Audit Committee 2025 was submitted during the 13-day sitting of the second quarter and received unanimous approval from members of the House. The report presents findings from audits conducted by the General Auditing Commission and review in collaboration with the Auditor General and his technical team. The Joint Committee emphasized that the findings and recommendations included in the report were thoroughly reviewed and technically vetted to ensure accuracy and alignment with legislative oversight and priorities. And finally, away from Liberia, civil rights groups says at least 7 people have been killed during a crackdown on protesters who are calling for Togo's leader to step down and release political prisoners. 7 bodies were recovered from rivers in the capital city, Lome, according to a coalition called La Front Citoyen Togo tribute, which accuses security forces and militants of committing abuses. The Togolese government has denied these deaths were linked to last week's demonstrations. Well, Oliver, that's the shape of the news bulletin. It is now back to you for the continuation of Blaze News Point.
Indeed, many thanks to Deborah Miss that for the news bulletin is a regular feature on News Point. News Point is 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. Stories we're following on today's presentation of the program. United Methodist Human Rights Monitor condemns recent threatening statements issued by former rebel leader General Bob Nicky against Representative Yeka Kolba in Granjida County. United Citizens Mass Action Against Repeal of the Local Government Act strongly rejects reported plans by lawmakers to amend the 2018 Local Government Act. Representative Marvin Code of Bond County District 3 accuses fellow lawmakers of corruption and misuse of power, calls for greater accountability and transparency, and away from whom at least 7 people killed during a crackdown on protesters who are calling for Togo's president to step down, according to the BBC. Still ahead, the news bulletin exposed the actual voices of our newsmakers, all packaged onto this presentation of the program. Let's now go strictly into our developments. A group under the banner United Citizens Mass Action Against Repeal of the Local Government Act on Monday staged a peaceful march through the principal streets of Banga, voicing strong opposition to reported plans by lawmakers to amend the 2018 Local Government Act. Speaking during the presentation of a petition at the Banga Administrative Building Monday, the head of the group, Comfort Gele, called on the government to immediately halt any move to alert key provisions of the act. Gele declared that any attempt to water it down, it would be a direct attack on local empowerment and could reverse gains made in local governance, reduce community voices, and concentrate power at the national level.
It also undermines the recommendation from the Accra Comprehensive Peace Accord on decentralization, contradiction to rights-based and do no harm principle. Liberia's development partners, including many civil society actors, work with the principle that those affected by poverty and injustice must be central in defining problems and solutions. This empowering local council violate these principles and could aggravate social divisions and conflict. Their presence and wanting to be involved in the decision making and approval at the level of the county council is double dipping and it undermines full participation. Setback to the implementation of decentralization. The repeal contradicts the objective of empowering marginalized population and supporting local governance structures that uphold transparency, accountability, and citizens' participation. Such structures are essential for fostering a just and sustainable society. Our demand, we urge the legislature to avoid any amendment to the 2018 Local Government Act that reduces the role of county councils in the approval and management of development funds. Two, we call on the executive branch to reaffirm its commitment to participatory governance and support the full implementation of the Local Government Act as a framework for inclusive development and the promotion of decentralization to which the President of Liberia subscribed during his inaugural speech in 2024. We request public hearings on this matter to ensure transparency and meaningful engagement with civil society and communities if you strongly feel a need to repeal any part of this law. We stand firm and united for decentralized governance, democratic accountability, and the right of citizens to participate meaningfully in development processes. We call on all duty bearers to protect these principles and uphold the rule of law.
Meanwhile, Comfort Gilly is urging the legislature and the Ministry of Internal Affairs to engage in broad-based consultations with citizens before making any changes to the law.
To the honorable members of the National Legislature, to the office of the President of the Republic of Liberia, executive branch of government, we, the undersigned civil society organizations, community representatives, and concerned citizens of Liberia, write to express strong opposition to the proposed repeal of Section 2.2 of the 2018 Local Government Act, which grants county councils the authority to approve county development fund and the county development plan. We firmly assert that this move undermines the principles of decentralization, participatory democracy, and accountable governance, which is the primary objective of the decentralization process worked for tirelessly since 2005 to now. It rapes recent gains in inclusive development and erodes citizens' rights to influence how public resources are allocated and utilized in their community. Grounds for our objection. One, the violation of democratic principles and right-based governance. The Local Government Act is a milestone in strengthening grassroots democracy and recognizing citizens as active right holders, not passive beneficiaries. Removing the role of county councils disregards their constitutional right to participate in decision making that affect their lives as seen in Article 7 of Liberia's 1986 Constitution, contradicting Liberia's commitment to democratic governance and international human rights standards. Undermining transparency and accountability. County councils provide a mechanism for oversight and public participation, holding duty bearers accountable in the use of development funds. Bypassing them breaks a return to a big top-down resource allocation, which increases the likelihood of mismanagement and corruption. Threat to sustainable and inclusive development. Decentralization promotes local ownership and ensures that development initiatives are tailored to context-specific needs. Repelling this authority centralizes decision-making, which historically has resulted into inefficiency, inequity, and the marginalization of rural voices.
That's the voice of Comfort Gilly. She is the head of the group calling itself United Citizen Mass Action Against Rebuild of the Local Government Act. They're speaking on Monday. Bone County District 3 Representative Josiah Marvin Cole has accused federal lawmakers of corruption and misuse of power, calling for greater accountability and transparency in Liberia's leadership. Speaking at the Banga Intellectual Forum over the weekend, Representative Cole claimed that the Capitol building symbolizing has burned intellectually, citing a breakdown in governance and increasing levels of criminality in the Boakakon administration. According to him, he is aiming at the Speaker or Vice President position in the 2029 election, stressing the need to improve the lives of citizens in the country.
What happened? The Capitol building has burned intellectually. Just beside what you see in the building. Picture they got something called imagery. Now you can sit down right here, you picture something that you saw way in America in your mind. I can tell you the Capitol building is destroyed. Nothing there. Here now is major criminality. As we heard the District 2 lawmaker confirming that corruption can come. Number two, Eric Kavia encouraged me to go and overthrow democratically elected government. If I were in position, I would have never mentioned Kavia on that kind of thing. To say I am proud that he told me to go and overthrow. Now we stood. What am I doing to correct it? I stood up to the government as one of the leaders. That Joseph Boakai, you will respect the law of this nation. Our elected will number more than you, Joseph Boakai. 17.2 elected you, and I got more than 19 to 20,000 plus. So if you and myself were to contest for the presidency, I am president of the republic, and you, the young people, will not be sitting here drinking Atayi from morning to morning. We'll bring company, we'll provide opportunity. But Joseph Boakai don't have no friend. If I can lie, he don't lie like politics. If there is word of such, I will always be on the side of the rule of law. I will not do anything that will issue violence. Because I just told my supporters that you see David Sugar position, President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate, Vice President of the Republic, three positions, and I one of them when I was 2029. And I will get it. The man that went to Ghana, he said, one of my old friends, I went to attend the daughter wedding. He gave me a picture from the daughter wedding. The last time I said, we're having a conversation, my friend told me he would give me 285 pieces of yellow machine. The yellow machine I turned to Kakakuru until the Vice President flew for yesterday to go to China. Honorable Marvin Go will never be Vice President of the Republic. I go to China and don't meet the Vice President of that country. Don't meet the Foreign Minister of that country. Don't meet any of the Honor Secretary. Rather, factory managers. And I say, walking all around it. You know what the country going. So that
Meanwhile, Representative Marvin Cole has accused Representative James Collette of stealing over 11,000 United States dollar worth of gasoline coupon from him, claiming that there is now a request for repayment.
UPS, you got to reconsider. There is academic and economic catastrophe that have been existed over the period of time, and we should not go there. So I only told Baka, you will obey the law. 6 months, I was suspended without any benefit. As I say here, those guys, they gave more than 100,000 US dollars from me in terms of benefits that they have not paid. I just told you, it's undisputable that the District 2 lawmaker, he stole more than 11,000 US dollars gasoline coupons from me. It was processed and paid, and they are begging us to allow recast to come so they can repay us. Is that not a shame? I would have never wished for my name to be mentioned for the wrong at which I stood for. So that the two things I do here. To tell Joseph Boakai, speaker, Moiki and Pazia went to Sowenta is the second speaker, Honorable Richard Nangwekun. And I said that man, what you call him speaker, will ensure that he can sit down in the field and he will be called Richard Nangwekun representative before the crisis can end. And we ensure that happens 6 to 7 months so that the thing of what we do and we'll do more.
That's the voice of Bon County District 3 Representative Josiah Marvin Cole there accusing fellow lawmakers of corruption and misuse of power, calling for greater accountability and transparency in Liberia's leadership. The chairman of the Access Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force of Liberia, Councillor Edwin Martin, has disclosed that the institution has 26 active cases with 40 suspicious properties identified and investigated. Speaking on state radio on Monday, June 30, the arrest boss indicated that the institution will complete and release its investigation concerning properties built with public funds and illegal bank accounts created for corrupt purposes. He added that tracing stolen assets by the government is the first of its kind in the country, noting the arrest is working in the interest of the country and is not to wish harm politicians or civil servants.
We'll now go in depth because, presently we are in court and we need to do that. That will be bringing the matter that is already in court to the public. So we have 26 active cases and we done three already. And we managed to take one to the grand jury, and we came up with true bill. And we are reviewing the other two. We have 40, we have identified 40 suspicious properties. We are now evaluating the source. We are evaluating the owners, because we're also go into detail here and tell you what obtained and how the properties were gotten. Some people will jump in the street, but we won't do that. The outcome of our investigation will be shown to the Liberian people. And we're me to also even say that some of the bank accounts that we have identified, the millions of United States dollars that are passed through those accounts, the Liberian people will jump in the street. But we wouldn't say that until the result and the subsequent legal process is sold. But by and large, I'm trying to say that there's a strange thing in our country that the president initiated, because it has never happened before. Tracing stolen assets is a strange thing in our country. And this public forum is to make the Liberian people to understand and to comprehend that what we are doing it in the interest of the country. The tax force is highly sophisticated. When it comes to investigators, we have trained investigators who are well trained and experienced in financial crime. We have prosecutors, lawyers who are well trained, understand the theory on the court. Like for me, my strength is the court. So we have also our international partners who are so strong. And when it comes to doing international tracing, even having assisting us with tracing and identification in Liberia, they are also in support of that. So the task force is a full composition of trained, experienced people. So we're not worried about that. We know based upon the kind of experience and training we have, we know evidently we will succeed in making progress.
The chairman of the Access Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, Martin, has meanwhile announced that the institution will soon begin a massive awareness campaign aimed at educating citizens to report suspicious properties they believe to be for the government.
And we believe that the work we do is basically, as I said initially, to build up a system a system that will deter the repeat of the bad past. That when you serve in government, your responsibility in your public service is to operate within the confines of what the law say. And you are entitled to what have been apportioned you by law. Anything on the contrary is not yours, it's for the public. So this is what we need to establish, that once public assets are taken away and put into wrong pockets, public money is used to acquire sophisticated properties. I think there's a time now that will initiate the bus stop. And this is the bus stop that the president has initiated. We understand that people will misinterpret it as being wished on. People will misconstrue it as being wished on. But there's an initial system that the president has developed and we are trying to implement. And implementing the process will not be easy. We'll have a lot of challenges as we are having today. But by and large, we appreciate the concern from Liberian people who have expressed their endorsement to the process. And we want to say that we are about to initiate an outdoor campaign to explain to the Liberian people a awareness program on asset recovery for the Liberian people to report to us those suspicious properties and things that is believed to be for government. And that campaign is for all Liberians. Our telephone numbers are being given out. They will be announced on the show for people to have the opportunity to report and to inform us.
That's the voice of the chairperson of the Access Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, Consider Edwin Martin, there speaking, and then at the same time disclosing that the institution has 26 active cases with 40 suspicious properties identified and investigated. At this time, we now join Stephen Dalu. He comes in with the passion of life sports.
Swange Moulton named queen of the match in Champion All-Star dominant win. Swange Moulton has been crowned queen of the match following a stand-out performance in Champion All-Star commanding 6-2 victory over Robert FC in the ongoing Zabino All-Star off-season tournament in the female edition. Moulton, who plays as a defender for both Newly Warrior FC and Champion All-Star, delivered an exceptional display, opening the scoring and going on to net a brace in a dreamy match. Her efforts were pivotal in securing a win for team and highlighted her influence on both ends of the pitch. The Queen of the Match award was presented to Moulton by popular Liberian comedian John Flomo, adding a special touch to a well-deserved recognition. On the African scene, the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup may have come to an end for Africa with Al-Ahly Mamelodi Sundowns experiencing Wanda Casablanca all falling to progress to the knockout stages. But while the results didn't go their way, the performances told a different story, one of resilience, growth, and undeniable potential. Some analysis from football journalist Brighton Bafana of Africa briefly the performance of the African teams that fell short at the 2005 FIFA Club World Cup. Bafana pointed to the failure of the African clubs at the tournament to several factors, including last-minute coaching changes, tactical confusion, and failure to manage key moments. Bafana reiterated that the tournament exposed Africa's potential, but also its unpreparedness on the global stage. And in Europe, lastly, all the latest transfer news, Dundee's and reports. Brentford director tells BBC Sport latest on Noggin and Bramos feature. Director Phil Gillies says Nanga is close to joining Arsenal but deal not yet complete. It has to be the right deal for Brentford, Gills and Mbeumo. Chelsea agreed deal worth a £60 million for Britain's João Pedro and Jamie Gittins is set for Chelsea's medical. And that's his sport.
Many thanks to Stephen Talo there for the Passion of Last Post. It's a regular feature on this point. We go for more developments. The National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority has officially launched a hands-on aquaculture training program targeting fish farmers in 4 counties beginning with Magibi. Speaking at the opening section, Sisi the Director of Aquaculture and Inland Fisheries at NADFA encouraged participants to apply the knowledge and skills gained during the training to improve their productivity and secure a better future. But they emphasized that that's agriculture, particularly aquaculture, is fundamentally a field-based profession and urge farmers to dedicate themselves to practical on the ground work following the training.
The training that you are coming to acquire here, don't sit on it. Go and utilize the training. Training is not made for you to take and just sit with it. No, we want to see the impact. That's the way we build the nation when we see our output. You see, when we sit here for Saturday, you cannot do agriculture just by sitting in the house, just by being on the computer. You have to go into the field. You have to plant. You have to do all whatever whatsoever. You have to put the fertilizer in the soil for the plant to grow, right? So you don't need to just sit in the office. That was a very good point. The citizen of Ghana said, also said that yes, it's good to compete. If you get the fish from the pond, it's fresh and ready. That is the advantage that aquaculture has, right? We can produce your fish, you can control what goes in your pond, the kind of water that goes in your pond. But if the fish is in the wild, then in the river, in the river, the streams, a lot of things can happen there. These days, we are battling with this cannibal fishing. The next 6 days will be here will be for both theory and practical. So we'll be teaching you things like how the tilapia can reproduce, how you can collect the fries, how you can even produce the all-meal tilapia, right? Because in our aquaculture, we want to produce all-meal tilapia fish because they can grow faster. If you put a female there, they cannot grow faster. The next year will be reproducing. So we don't want the male and female to be together. I mean, the male and female. That's a problem we have in our aquaculture production because they can overly reproduce, and then become a problem too. Too much everything's a problem, right? So we will let them produce the all male. So we'll show you how you can produce the all-meal tilapia so you can have increased fish production or increased tilapia production.
That's that's the voice of the director of the National Fishery Authority, the Fishery and Aquaculture Authority, Sisipade there speaking. President Joseph Boakai has called for the need to set up a system to monitor the hygienic condition of health facilities across the country. Speaking over the weekend during the opening of the Metro Medical Clinic in Zubatan, Painesville, President Boakai said most hospitals in Liberia have rats and cockroaches all over the building, something he termed as a danger for citizens. According to the Liberian leader, patients do not go to hospitals to get sick. Rather, they go to hospitals to seek medical attention, calling on health facilities in Liberia to clean their environment.
You know, very sad that you go to communities to dedicate medical center. It's not an easy opportunity to come and do it with a restaurant. They don't even have to call you. I want to thank Mrs. Thompson for this investment. Several times it was easy to describe this area because it was a pink building. And every time, like, why in the world you go pink for the pink building? But you know, it just first as a family. And when Dr. Tama tells you that we are talking about we are five brothers as the kids people and they say his father came right after me. Today I'm the only one left, but even before then, the schooling and everything. And Dr. Kudo said, try one of the things when Dr. Kudo took over, I told her, let's set up a system going to these hospitals. Expected, but most of the hospitals that you go there, first sick, see rats, roaches, and all. We have to be very strict. Like she said, when we opened a restaurant at the class, I told the people the story about sometimes New York, or you see somebody restaurant painting a Picasso, Michelangelo hanging there, and then you see another place, no painting, just there. But the people streaming out to go there to eat. People don't go to a restaurant for painting, they go to eat. People don't go to a hospital to go and see painting. You go there to eat, medicate, to get well. So she said, there's the service. That's what we have problem with. Some years back, I went to North Carolina, so Franklin Graham established a year invited me, and I told him, please, Dr. Hospital should not be where you have nurses watching Nigerian movies and people dying. Because that's why we think the building is the function of service. You want to go to the hospital to get back, go there. You want to see doctor, don't take their private what goes on, some patients have the feeling that they go there and they sing, they cry, the doctors will cry, the doctors are crying, and you don't have a chance. They have to be doctors.
That's the voice of President Joseph Yuman Boakai. The Liberia Council of Churches has called on the government to ensure that the fight against corruption is in accordance with the law of the land and respect for the rights of citizens. LCC General Secretary Reverend Dr. Christopher Todd disclosed that the council is aware of the recent legal actions involving former and current government officials over allegations of corruption and other offenses. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia during the weekend, Reverend Todd said as the LCC supports the government's duty to fight corruption, justice must come at the cost of fairness.
The Liberal Council of Churches is aware of recent legal actions involving former and current government officials over allegations of corruption and other offenses. As a body rooted in faith, justice, and peace, we wish to speak with clarity, care, and conviction. We support the government's duty to fight corruption. However, at the same time, we call for this fight to honor the laws of our land and the rights of every citizen. Justice must come at the cost of fairness. Every person is innocent until proven guilty and must be treated with dignity and respect. We appeal to our courts, our lawyers, and our security services to remain neutral, careful, and transparent. Let no one use the law for politics or personal gain. Let every state be guided by truth and guided by what is just and right. We ask the public to follow the court process with patience and understanding. Let us avoid harmful talk, insults, and anger. Let us speak with wisdom and watch with open hearts. In doing so, we will protect our peace and deepen our democracy. We also call on the church and all religious bodies to not remain silent. This is the time to speak truth with love, to be the conscience of the nation, and to stand with the voiceless. Let us lead by the example and speak with moral courage. As Liberians, let us hold on to our values. Let us work together in unity. Let us seek healing, not hatred. Let us pursue justice, but never lose our mercy. We pray that God will bless our leaders with wisdom, bless our people with peace.
Of the Secretary General of the Liberia Council of Churches, Reverend Dr. Christopher Doe. And this just coming in, President Joseph Boakai has nominated Associate Justice Yami Wese as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia pending confirmation by the Liberian Senate. According to the executive mansion, the nomination was made in accordance with Article 54C of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, which grants the president the authority to appoint the Chief Justice, Associate Justices, and judges of subordinate courts. Additional, the nomination aligns with Article 72B of the Constitution of Liberia. With that, we come to the end of today's edition of News Point. It has been a production of the News and Current Affairs Department, Yada Place Communications Network Incorporated. Before we go, a recap of our top stories. United Methodist Human Rights Monitor condemns recent threatening statements issued by former rebel leader General Paul Neke against Representative Yeke Kulubat in Grand Jida County. United Citizen Mass Action Against Rebuild of the Local Government Act strongly rejects reported plans by lawmakers to amend the 2018 Local Government Act. Representative Marvin Cotto, Bond County District 3, accuses federal lawmakers of corruption and misuse of power, calls for greater accountability and transparency, and away from home, at least 7 people killed during a crackdown on protesters who are calling for Togo's president to step down, according to the BBC. I want to say thanks to all of you for your listening room. Many thanks to Deborah Miss, who was here with the news bulletin. Stephen Tallow brought in a passion of last post. Many thanks to Clifton Rennie, who sat at control and handled the technical aspect of the program. From behind the entire production team here at Blaze Communications Network Incorporated, my name is Oliver McIntosh. Our presenter. Good evening. Bye-bye.